everyone, it's Ruth from Little Fork in the Big Woods, and I'm here to talk to you about rabbits. I've been raising rabbits for a little over 10 years now, and I'd never claim to be an expert, nor am a veterinarian, but I would like to start sharing with you what I have learned from experience that I know works through trial and error. I've learned this, and through breeders passing down information to me. So, the first question I'm going to answer for you today is, how many rabbits should you start in your backyard hobby, or on your farm, or on your homestead? So let's go see my rabbits. So this is my Champagne de Argent buck revere. He's chilling out today. It's warm for fall. We have a nice 84-degree day, and it's already mid-September, and we're up in northern Minnesota here, so it's just a gorgeous day. And he's not thinking it's as nice as me, because he's got his nice beautiful silver coat. You can kind of see those kind of grayish lines on him. He's shedding, so he's getting in his new coat. That's why you kind of see that darker pattern in some spots and that really pretty light silvery color all along his back and over his face. Well, that's all his pretty new hair, and the darker is where he's shedding out. So I'm answering the question for you, how many rabbits do you need for your farm or for your homestead? And the short answer is as few as possible, and I'll give you 3 reasons why in just a moment. But when I say as few as possible, I'm talking about either 2 junior does and 1 buck, or 1 proven senior doe and 1 buck. When I say junior does, I'm talking about babies, 8 weeks to 6 months old, and they've never had a litter before. When I say proven doe, I'm talking about a doe that's 6 months to in the 2-year range, and she's had at least 1 litter that she successfully raised. She's weaned, she hasn't lost them, she was a good mother, she took good care of them. And you only need 1 of those. Why do I say you need 2 if you're going to get young does? Here's a reason why. It's just kind of insurance. Just like us, we didn't know what we were doing when we had our first child. They don't know what they're doing, really. When they have their first litter, it's all instinct for them. They're not able to go online. They're not able to call their mom up. They're not able to go to birthing classes. Leroy, get in this nest box! Having 2 young does means 1 can become a foster if necessary. Now moving on to my next 3 points. So money. You have the cost of your animals, the cost of their shelters, and the cost of the feed and where to store it, whether it's containers or additional shelter. So back to the cost of the animals. If you're going to buy pedigreed animals because you want to be able to sell them to 4-H kids, and you also want the quality that's going to come with purchasing a show quality animal, and also the potential for less disease because the people put a lot of time and effort into these rabbits. Also, you will purchase pedigreed animals because you're interested in showing them for your family and just getting 1 more recreational opportunity out of your farm that can potentially bond your family. Then every time you buy a rabbit, you're going to be putting quite a bit of money into that rabbit. You know, you might spend $40 a rabbit, or you might spend up to, I don't know, some people are willing to spend up to $80 to $100 rabbit. My rabbits actually cost me $60 when I started out. So $60 a piece. The more animals I get, 60 times 5 is going to be $300. Whereas 60 times 3 is only $180. Or 60 times 2 is even better yet, because it's only $120. So when I'm looking at that, I'm going to have the potential later on to breed my own pedigreed rabbits. If I do my breeding successfully, then I'm going to have a chance to keep some of those daughters or sons that I see are really promising, or be able to sell them to some of the 4-H'ers or to some of the people interested in showing come spring, and then be able to get some of that revenue to go ahead and purchase additional genetics as time goes on. So the number 1 issue is going to be money. The money factor is big, and you need to think about in the long run, even though it's so exciting to get started and just grow big right away. Well, with rabbits, you don't have to wait very long. It's very gratifying that way because their gestation period, the time that they're pregnant, is only 28 to 35 days. And they kindle usually more than just 1 kid. I know occasionally a rabbit will only kindle 1 kid, but that's my experience. Is I've never had anything less than 2, and I've only ever had 1 litter that was 2. Most of my litters are 8 or bigger. And so your rabbits are going to reproduce quickly and are going to be able to give you that result for growing your rabbitry as fast as you can breed them. So that's going to be unnecessary to go ahead and start out with that many rabbits, which brings me to my second point. It's just unnecessary. One buck can service 7 does. So you already have your one buck that's good, and so you can go ahead and use him to start out with while you're in the number 3 point, the learning time, the learning period. It's so important to not overwhelm yourself right away. You've never raised rabbits, or you've never raised this breed before, or you haven't raised rabbits in a long time. There's just always a learning curve. There's always a relearning curve. There's always ways to improve. And if the more rabbits you get, the more pressure you're going to have to house them and keep them from getting overcrowded. The more pressure you're going to have to keep them healthy, because whenever you have more animals, you have more potential for disease. And once disease starts spreading in your rabbitry, most rabbit diseases spread so quickly, and there's very little a lot of vets can do. And if you're trying to stay away from medications and antibiotics, that makes it all worse, because you could potentially lose your whole herd or end up having to use an antibiotic you're just not interested in using on your rabbit, all because you got in a rush and you bought so many animals. So my third point is that it's unnecessary. Looking forward in the future, when you have your does that you kept and you know what you're reproducing, then it's easy to go ahead and buy another buck and add in those genetics where your herd is weak. What do I mean by weak? Okay, so you've got big baby rabbits. They grow big, but they grow really slow. And just like, wow, this rabbit is not, at 3 months, it's just not where it should be at. But by 5 months, it's bigger than the rest of its breed. It's just got really large genetics, but they're so slow growing. Okay, now you have the chance to go in and find a buck that's going to produce babies that reach maturity quickly, that grow quickly, and hopefully combine those 2 genetics and get the rabbit that you're looking for. Also, when you raise your rabbits instead of buying them from someone, you're able to handle them in the manner you want them to be comfortable with. Maybe you had to buy from somebody who wasn't able to give their rabbits a lot of attention because they had so many, so now they're not super friendly. And you want your kids to be able to have the experience of enjoying the rabbits as a pet, their breeders as pets, not just as just a showpiece. Well, now you run into a problem. But when you raise the babies yourself and then you keep those does, now you're able to have sweet, friendly rabbits like you wanted, that you can handle as much as you want, versus being so eager to get so quickly and then ending up with a rabbit you really don't want, and a breed that you find out that you don't want. So patience. Start small, start simple, save your money, save up those pennies, get ready to add to your genetics and grow that rabbitry, and good luck. Enjoy your rabbits.
Mommy, can we keep her?